welcome back for our March update. So even though it feels like July is getting closer and closer, despite all the snow on the ground here in this shot, first and foremost, Wes is a working ranch horse here at the farm. So when cows need to be rounded up and brought to the barn, not once but twice this month, Wes was the man for the job. So he actually got put to work quite a bit this month, going out and gathering cows, bringing them up to the barn, helping to sort them out, and then taking some right back out again. So we brought our whole herd in twice just for some routine health work, and that was all Wes. He had to step up and get into the job, and he did really, really well. So going out with another horse, that's my husband on his thoroughbred, bringing our cows in and taking them back down to the barn. One thing Wes also got to do this month was take some other riders out. So that's my sister-in-law on the left and my student Chloe on the right. In between actually working the ranch, we got to do some of the good flat work stuff that's going to make him a better broke horse. So a ranch horse needs to be able to put his shoulders and his hips exactly where I ask him to. For a horse that's been in harness his whole life, that's actually a little bit of a challenge for Wes. He's having a tough time getting that hip unlocked and stepping under. So that's what I'm asking for here. I'm using my hand where my leg would go, asking those hind legs to take that big underneath step. Then the pressure comes off and he gets rewarded. Don't mind the gravel mine. This is just one of the few dry places we have to ride in March. Here we are introducing this to Wes in an early session in March, and you can see he's not quite figuring it out, but he's starting to put the pieces together. He gets that big step over and a reward. From a standstill, he doesn't quite understand the aids yet, so his default is to go backwards. So when that happens, then we just send him forward again and start over. No big deal, no drama. Sometimes if he's really, really sticky, then I would just have to hop back off again, real quiet, go back to that groundwork and say, okay, buddy, this is what we're looking for. Big step over behind. When he gets it, then good boy, gets a reward, get back on, try again. Here we are a little later in the month. This is actually my student Chloe up. So she's still learning how to put a horse together laterally and ask for these kinds of steps, but I included these clips because I think it's important to show that even though he doesn't quite understand from her what he's supposed to be doing, he's still giving it a really good try. And she's developing that sense of feel. You can see her reward him when he does it right. She's going to ask again, going in the other direction. There we go. We get a little bit of a step. Good boy. Good job, Chloe. Near the end of the month, we were getting sophisticated enough to be putting this into a little bit of an exercise. So I'm using my outside leg into my inside rein here to ask for a circle. Then you can see that outside leg comes off, and the inside leg goes on. I'm asking that hind end to take those swinging steps over. Good boy. So he was starting to pick that up pretty good by the end of the month. Very last day of the month, here we are. You can see a big difference in how I'm asking with my hands. All I'm really needing to do here is just support. Put that leg on and say swing that back end around. It's not a perfect turn on the forehand, but it is a pretty good start. I'm very happy with that. So we definitely have our work cut out for us looking in April. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more ranch activities for Wes to step into. The weather in April might actually prove to be more challenging than March, but fortunately we do have those gravel areas to do a little bit of flat work in. So our goals for April are going to be to continue to refine some lateral work. I would like him to be able to develop a little bit more of a two-track, so stepping forward while also working into his hip, and then get a little more independent in his shoulder. So again, understanding that this horse has been in harness for his whole life, where he's really just been tracking forward, following his own shoulders around. Even though a harness horse does step laterally a little bit to fan from side to side, they never really have to swing the hip around. So that's a brand new thing for him. And he's 18 at this point, so I do believe you can teach an old horse new tricks, and I know that Wes will get there. It's just going to take a lot of slow, persistent work. What's hard for me as a trainer is that if something doesn't work immediately the first time, I tend to want to just try something else. What I've tried to do with Wes is be really, really patient, just keep on asking and give him the time to process and, read his feedback and have him tell me what's working and what isn't. So, thanks for coming along for our March recap. Hope we'll see you again in April.